Alright, what's going on, guys? This is Davis, and today we're going to be looking at so I did that video with those 18650 lithium battery cells, and so this video is going to be describing the enclosure that I designed to be able to use those. Now, my educational license for Autodesk ran out, so I decided I'd learn something else, which is why I'm not doing a full tutorial on how I made this, because um, it would be absolutely ridiculous with how many mistakes that I made trying to figure this program out. It's definitely a little bit different than AutoCAD. Now this program, as you can see up in the upper left here, is called FreeCAD. And I just did a Google search, and I was like, whatever the first thing most recommended is, I'm going to learn it and figure out how it works, because I don't feel like paying the $300 a month or whatever that they want for the Inventor Suite. So you can kind of see here how the design turned out, and I'll kind of explain what the function of all these things is. So first of all, what I started off doing, if I go over to here, I can kind of show you. This is from oldest or from most recent to oldest down here, in the form of translations I made on this object here. Now I started off with the default sketch, and I made this box, right? You can kind of see this wasn't here, just the box. And so I made that, this is in millimeters, haven't figured out how to switch units, so I just kind of went with it. Let's see, what did I start with? Like a 3.5 by 4, whatever. The dimensions don't matter. I started off with the box, extruded that up, and then I created another sketch on this mid plane here, in between these two faces over here. And I created a circle in between them, kind of halfway through it down through there, and then I used this little guy over here. It's called the pocket function. I didn't remember what it was called because, like I said, I just learned this today. Used the pocket function to hollow out this kind of section here, and I made the midpoint of the circle just a little bit below this line here, so that it would kind of cradle the battery a little bit so it wouldn't fall out. That's kind of my thought. I'm not sure how it's going to work, but we'll see. And so then after that, I went through and I created sorry about the text, created a pattern, what was it called? A linear pattern, and I just followed along this direction here and made it about equal. Then I went through, created these two holes on either side, and they're just straight through holes, and I extruded those downwards, and then used another linear pattern across to fill in all the spots. Once that was completed, I realized that I kind of wanted to make this in a rail structure so that I can kind of be able to, I don't know, have a handle on one of them and kind of pull it out, and I'm moving, but you can't see the motions I'm making because I don't have the camera hooked up right now. But anyway, so I made these rails here that are kind of designed to be able to slot in to a device, which that'll be a future project. That'll be a huge one. And then, so on the other side here, I went through and created these grooves here, and this is where the wiring's going to go. These were designed here, I forgot to mention this, in place for contacts, so that I can throw some kind of a pin in here or something to make contact with the battery. I'm not quite sure how it's going to work yet, but I figured I'd give myself enough space to be able to figure it out, and I'd make it work. So then I made these rails here, and again, just a linear pattern just to get all these on here. And then made this rail so that those wires that are leading out from here can go somewhere else, right? Preferably to some sort of a device. Like I said, not really entirely sure what this is going to be used for, but I know that it's going to be useful for something. And then I created these grooves here. And these are designed, my thought process was I needed a way to stick one of these together. And I didn't want to use some kind of like double-sided tape, so I figured I could just make these grooves, and then I could print two of them, and then flip the other one around kind of like this, so that this would be here, that would be over here, and it should theoretically work. Now I'm not sure if it's going to actually work. It'll probably require some sanding. But so that's kind of how this came to be, the whole process that I used. And like I said, once I get better at this program, I'll actually start making making more tutorials on how exactly I'm doing this, because if I'm being honest with you, I don't even really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of guessing and hoping that it works, but I'll get my workflow down with this application eventually, and then we'll go from there. And now my next plan for the rest of this video, I'm planning on doing a kind of like a it's not really a slideshow. I keep forgetting the word for what it is, but I'm just going to show you a sped up process for printing it. I think that should be pretty cool. So I guess I'll cut into that now. What's going on, guys? This is Davis back at you after that little 3D printing video that I had made there. It didn't turn out nearly as well as I had hoped. The video itself anyway, the print turned out fine. And I learned a couple things from there. The first thing is that the video editing software I use only allows me to speed up 6 times. So what I wound up doing was just exporting the video, re-importing it again, speeding up another 6 times, and I did that a couple different times, and that led to a lot of loss in the actual video itself, like a lot of quality loss. So that's something I learned. Next time I'm just going to take periodic pictures, like a picture every 30 seconds or something, and then stitch all those together. And that, I think, is going to wind up working a lot better. It's going to look better. So I think that's what I'm going to do next time. But so this is the finished product itself. I get that kind of close there. You can kind of see that, well, I removed quite a few of the supports in there. I only removed on this one. Everything else still has supports, just because I didn't figure it was worth wasting my time. I wanted to see if it would fit. And I try to sell, it's slightly too small. This length here has to be, let me just switch the camera around real quick. Alright, with the camera switch you can kind of tell what I'm talking about here. I tried throwing a cell in there, and it just, this distance between here and here was just too small. It seemed like the width and everything else worked fine, but like I said, this length here is just too short and it won't fit. Probably some grinding would probably get it to fit in there, but the whole plan for this is so that I can print a bunch of them. So I'm probably going to wind up making that edit in the file and reprinting it again and seeing if that works any better. It looks like all my channels and everything, they turned out pretty much perfect. You can tell there's a huge difference between both sides. Still got some support over there too, but this is completed, finished product right here. And I wish that I would have printed 2 of them at the same time so I could compare them and try to make sure that this whole mechanism is gonna work. But I guess we'll find that out with the next iteration, because it's not like I'm going to I'm not going to need to make this any wider or change the form factor of the physical of the whole object itself. So I should be able to make that work by just widening this spot and leaving everything else the same, so then I'll be able to test it with the next iteration. Yeah, I'm going to switch cameras back and we'll wrap this video up. Alright, so yeah, that's kind of how it turned out. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the lower quality time-lapse there. That's what it is. It's a time-lapse. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I've learned a couple things. We'll make it better next time. Yeah, I'll come back with any further updates, and eventually, once I actually get a good grasp on this this FreeCAD program that I've been using, I'll probably make an actual tutorial on how to make stuff, kind of get into that. But for now, that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.